So open up with this. I just mentioned Python compiler. The very first is program is right. Right. So just Google it with this Python compiler. It will give you program is. It will open up with this way where when I type with this simple program which I shared with you, it start working clearly. Run. Give me a second. This way. When I say run, see, enter your name directly. I can say, let's say Aman. Your name is Aman. That's it. It's very simple, straightforward. Okay. So what I suggest is Google it, right? Python compiler, it'll open up with this online compiler. This is far easier because we'll focus purely on one file. Because right now in Jupyter, it's like two things we are working upon, right?
I mean, people who are having Mac can use the terminal. Yeah, that's easier.
Okay, there you have already installed Python. It would be there, right?
Yeah,
Then it's fine. Then it's fine, right?
Just open a VI and use the build Python.
If you're done with this, just look onto this in this program. Yeah. Number one, so I'm saying input, enter the first number. So we are going to get the number from the user and we are holding in which variable? Num1. Second, we are trying say, like enter the second number. Again, the second number we have to put on that and then the value would be stored out there in your num2. A separate variable I have taken that as sum of numbers so that I can sum up both num1's value as well as num2's value. And I'm holding in this variable called sum of numbers. Then I'm saying sum of two number is with this comma operator, right? So I'm just going to sum up with this as well. So let me run this and let's see whether it's really working in that way or not, right? So let's say enter first number 10, enter second number, let's say 20. See, the point is the default holding of this is of string format.
So when we do sum, it should be 10 plus.
So we have to typecast.
Concatenation.
See, because when I'm saying this plus, so somewhat it's like string plus string. So it is thinking in that way. Reason is this. So the default holding or default return value of this input is of string. So we need to typecast it, right? Yeah, it is better in that way. So we can use that.
In Python, there's no need of defining variables. I mean, like data type.
Type of the variable.
Type of.
So is it I said int num1? No. Float num1? No. String num1? No. So that's what exactly is saying. The whatever the value. See, right now, let's say if I'll change it with, let's say there is another point. Let's say 20. Let's say 10. Right? Let's say if I'll do it in this way. Why it is working? Because what is 20? Number. Num1's data type automatically will become 20 number. So that is why it was said earlier, it is not required. Data type is not required when we are defining a variable. But the point is when I'm saying this piece, the default nature of input is of what? String. So that's why the problem is when we are doing this plus operator, it will not taking as a arithmetical. It will start taking as a concatenation operator. Right. So that is the point, right? See, we have two ways to get into the right. The first is I can simply say this int. So this is a typecasting of whatever we are getting, right? Let me run it again. First number, let's say 10. 23. So whenever you are having some sort of numeric acceptance, please do it wisely in that terms. Use it a typecasting over there. That's it. Fine. So just try this as well, please. right?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Now we're done with this. Let's try to apply some conditional statements as well, that if num1 is greater than num2, only let's say display some specific message, right? So I'm displaying this as a comment. So to put comment, you can use hash. Now let's go over here. I'm saying if num1 is greater than num2, be very careful. I can't use first is greater.
For confirmation, if I'm using plus, it's not working, giving error. Instead of comma, I give plus, getting some error.
Sorry.
In configuration, you're saying that you can use plus also.
Yeah, because now it is an integer, no?
Okay.
Because if it is a type of sum, it is integer. So you can't use this comma for that. That is the point. So you need to typecast that result as well. That is the point. Yeah, let's see it over here. Let's please, all of you, please look over here. So what we are trying over here, we are just get the values, we are just getting the addition over here, and then additionally we are just saying let's have the comparison as well, but with some twist. Let me run this. We are not getting anything. The very simple reason is I skipped indentation. As far as if is concerned, we knew it very well. If is a conditional based statement and it has two sections. One is true, one is false. So when I'm saying this, so this is my true section and this is my false. But how come to define it here in this Python? Because when you talk about C purpose, you can start using curly braces. You can define a curly brace start, curly brace close easily. How about this? They are saying it depends upon your indentation part always. So that means when you are writing down that, please do this, this. But the point is, if it is a single statement, that's okay. What about multiple statements? See, very simple point. If it is multiple, so you have to give that indentation according to that only, like this. That means, let's say, for example, on this program, what I've done, see, print, this 14 line print is on same level. So it is not conditional based. But my 8 and 9 and 11 and 12, they are conditional based. So what will happen? The moment we are scrolling over here, so let's say 7 and 3. 7 is greater than 3. It is. It will jump over here. So this is a kind of curly brace start and curly brace close, the way we are giving indentation. So these two will be triggered once the 7 is greater than 3. It will run these two pieces, will come out of at line number 13, 14, we'll try to get into this again. So what will be the output of this program? If I'll say 7 and 3, 7 is greater than 3, it says first is greater, yes, but that's it. But if it is, let's say 3 and 30, 3, 30. What about this? Though no, I know we are not printing anything, but what about this? 3 and 30? 33? 3 is greater than 33? False. Move to else. These two statements. In that case, this will print or not? Definitely, because this is out of this area. Is it fine? So just try this as well, right? I'll try to showcase one more piece where we can have multiple if statements as well. How to get into that? We'll talk about that, but just try this as well first, please. So if we are getting two numbers from the user, then we are just comparing which one is greater. That's our main idea as of now.
In this case, we really don't need number 4, right? Because it is not doing anything.
Sorry?
In this case, we really don't need number 4, right? Because nowhere we are using some
Which
of
one?
numbers, right?
Number 4, line number 4. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. And again, if you remember where we mentioned the colon, see, in last example where we were doing some function, I told scope, region. Here again, yes, exactly. There is a scope. So that's why we started with this. So with your function, with your if, with your looping, we'll talk about this colon part. Rest, we'll never talk about that. And even I haven't used any semicolon there because to avoid the confusion, right? That's true. That's true, sir. Thank you. Right. Yeah. One more point, right? I have written 3 ways to display the result, right? Because maybe at certain books or online you refer to some other way, so that's why I opted to generate this, right? So one way is line number 6, print the sum of two numbers, comma. I'm using the variable. So comma is having that power to concatenate string along with number also. Now why I'm saying this is number because see, we typecasted it. We typecasted it. So what is the data type of sum of numbers actually? Integer, because I'm concatenating, not concatenating, I'm just summing up two numbers. So that's why the data type of the sum of number would be number. So that's why it's working for me flawless. So that's the power of this comma. But when you are trying to get into this plus without str, will flag an error, which I'm sure you must be getting, right? So in that case, you need to typecast. So this is fine. So plus says string should be concatenated with string only. So because this is my number, so I need to typecast towards string. So now a hard-coded string along with typecasted string can be concatenated easily. Fine. But let's say you don't want to get into this. Here you need to typecast this, that. No, forget about it. There is another one. That is the formatted one. Just mention printf f. That is the formatted version of print. Oh, everything is same, but the only small difference is wherever the variable value you want to fetch, put it in your curly brace. That's it. So in that case, there is no need of thinking it as a string number. No, nothing like that. Just mention the variable name directly. Is that fine? This is, I'm saying, another way to get into that because some languages are having this kind of mechanism, especially React kind of, right? So that's why they are getting into this. Right? Yeah. I just tried to get into this as well, wherein we can have multiple chain if else, right? So let's see. So if I'm saying on line number 9, is it num1 is greater than num2? Give me a second. Yeah. So is it num1 is greater than num2? So if it is num1 is greater than num2, we are saying go for this. Else, if the way we were doing in your C++, so we are having elif over here. In your bash, is it the same style, right? Elif. Num1 is less than num2. So if it is that, display this. And the last else, where I reserved for, not this, but where the values are similar. Idea is we can have use elif, that's it. Multiple if else, yes, we can provide by this also, right? Open up your Jupyter Notebook, right? So they have installed Jupyter Notebook within same. So once you are open up that Jupyter Notebook, it will open up this way, right? Yeah, tak I hope right we are here. So once you are open up with this, click on File, New, and Terminal. Yep. So it will open up like this, right? And you can write down the same statements. Let's say I just copy pasted that program over here only, right? Here only. So what I'm saying, either you can start writing things here, I mean, with the same VI editor, that kind of styling, right? That way. But better, I would suggest to open up your notepad so that you can easily copy paste up and down would be easier, right? Save this file, give a name, any name. Let's say I'm saying but make it sure extension would be .py and all files, right? So what I'm saying, open up the steps. It's something like open up your Jupyter Notepad. Then I'm saying open the terminal section. Let's don't get into that file, that file. Let's talk about only one file. Otherwise, the morning we were talking about some twist between those two. So I don't want to get into that. So file terminal, that's it. So this will open up this screen. Then I'm saying along with this Jupyter app application, open up another app called Notepad. Start writing things, whatever you are doing it, and save it with this name, any name, .py, right? So once it's done, it's like that. Then go on to there, I mean to this. Let's say I'm saying a command called dir. It'll give me the listing of all the files that are available. So just which I saved it, it is mx.py. How to run that? It is, let's say Python, and the name of the file is, let's say mx. Enter. See, it start working. Right? Why we shifted to VM? There is a reason. Not today, but later we have to make a connect with your MySQL also. So in that case, later on MyDB, we will be in trouble if you go with the online Python compile, right? So just try. Hopefully it's working on your machine as well, right?
Data, right?
And
Now let's do one thing for whom it's working. This see, I'm just trying for one more usage of something. Let's see what is that something. First, I'm saying enter your name. So I'm getting the value from the user using the same input, right? So as in this case, currently I'm going to get the value from the user, which the name from the user, which will be in string format. So there is no typecasting is required as of now. So let's say if I'm putting Aman, I'm holding in this variable called name. Now here in this line, I'm doing two pieces, right? One, I'm using something called OR operator. Remember, logical operator, which simply says this should be true. Only then we have to enter in this area, right? So this is first thing. Second, I'm using something called starts with. Now, what is starts with? It's a built-in function of string. So name, which is of string, I'm saying starts with H, the capital H, or with small h. Only then I'm going to get the value of age. Again, the typecasting, holding in age, then I'm using it this way, right? Remember F, the formatted version, within double quotes, I'm saying, hello, Harmeet, you are this year's old. But let's say if the name which I'm putting over here, let's say it was Aman, yes, if the condition doesn't get satisfied, I will move to name. Then it will simply say print, hello, Aman, your name does not start with H letter. That's right. So we are doing couple of things. Number one, we are talking about some logical operator that we can use, or and operator also, right? Second, we are using built-in method called built-in function called starts with. Is it fine? So open up one more notepad, start writing down this. If your VM is not working, that's okay, no problem. You can directly copy this same piece on the same online tool also. So ultimately, code should run. Forget about the platform right now. So see, I'm trying to run this program, right? So first time when I run this, I'll say, I said Aman. It was, hello Aman, your name does not start with H letter. I rerun the program, but this time I'm saying, Hermine, let's waiting for the age to be accepted, right? Fine. So let's say this thing says this, end of the program. Simple.
So it's kind of the condition doesn't meet also, it doesn't go further, right?
Yep.
So I have a question. So Python has a lot of inbuilt libraries and modules, like you said. So it doesn't have anything with the case sensitive or like different combinations. So let's say here we only have capital H and small h, just in case if we have like in other scenarios, like multiple combinations if we want to give. So we can't specify all of those combinations, right? So instead of that,
Yes,
can we
regular
replace-
expression. We have that.
Okay.
So we have regular expression library there, so which take care of that. Yep. We do have.
Okay, so we don't have any like properties on the.
Yeah, that's what exactly ma'am was asking. Yes, so there is something called regular expression. So we will use that. Yes, correct, sir.
Find available functions.
Sorry.
You are aware of that starts with there is a function and you use it.
Right.
I'm not aware of that. The function is.
Once dedicatedly when we start working on functions, then I'll give you those links. You can refer to those links, sir. Definitely. But I think in training program also, personally speaking, around 40-50 functions you will come across. That is for sure, which are heavily being used by the people out there. Yeah. But apart from those, still, I'm trying to get into that as well, sir. To the same program, let me do a small change. Are we done with this? This one, the left one? Okay. Otherwise, okay, fine. Let me do one thing. Let me start. Yeah. Let's have a small change within the same. Yeah. Let's see over here. A small change. Because sir were asking about ends with, right? Yeah. Let's over here. Look over here. Enter your name. I'm getting the value from the user for the name. I'm holding in this. Now let's see. If name starts with H and ends with T. Right, sir? So I'm using both the pieces, right? Starts with, ends with. This is fine. I'm going to compare with the starting value, but and simply forcing someone has to enter the name which is starting with H letter and has to end with T letter. So Harman will not work. Hari will not work. Harmeet or any other name, Harpreet or whatever. So wherein the name is starting with H letter and ending with T, it will work. Now once it's working, I'm saying enter your age. I'm getting the wage value. I'm saying this message, but there is another thing which sir was asking that Habib, is there any something to find out in between to check? Yes, sir. We have something called name.find. Now find says anything if it is there within this, check it out, not equal to -1 means it is there. So when it will be there -1, when nothing would be there. So we are saying not. See carefully. I'm not saying if it is equal to -1. I'm saying if it is not equal to -1 means something would be there. Then I'm saying enter your location, then this. So when I'm trying to run this piece, just see. Enter your name. Let me say Aman. It says Aman, your name doesn't start with H. Let me try with one more way. Let's say I'm saying simple without T. Again, the same piece. So I need to get into with. And this time again, the small h will not work because I haven't used or. We can club both the pieces, but as of now, I wanted to have your start with and ends with. So let's say Hermeet, your age, enter your location. Why? Because in my name, this me is there. So that's what it's asking for location. But anything wherein it is starting with H or the ending with T, if it is there is no ME, that will not ask for location. Let's say Dublin. Dublin is a nice place. That's it. Is it fine? So a couple of things we have implemented in this. Number one, last as compared to or operator, we are using and. दोनों चलना चाहिए. Second, we are using this to make it not equal to. But apart from that, starts with, ends with. Now we have something called find also. There is another shortcut. I mean, if you don't want to get into find, I'll give you one more Python way. But later. Let's try this one. First try this one, then I'll give you the idea of Python way. What is that Python way? Because you will really work on that. So it's working for all, right? And I'm sure we must have tried these different ways, right? These different ways to get into that, right? Chaliye. Now let's see if you don't want to get into this function, I mean this part, is there any better or is there any other way? Yes. The other easier way is this. But before getting to this, please let's have a discussion. There is something called in operator in Python that simply says, please let's listen carefully because this is a highly important piece, though it is very simple, but we are about to use majorly in your collections programs, majorly. So let's try to understand what exactly this is all about. See, in is an operator that simply demands one thing. What is there on the right hand side? It should be a collection. So is it name as a collection? Yes, collection of characters. So it'll work. So means you will see in operator with arrays, list, dictionary, they are collections. But might be you start feeling that this is not a collection. It is a collection of characters. We are saying hard-coded values. So X, Y, N in that collection. So somehow, I remember in one of my technical interviews, somebody asked when I written last find method, that can we do without function? Yes, Python supports is this. And this is bit faster as compared to your find method. Because here there is no additional jump towards the function. You always better understand when I'm using your start with, ends with something, this, that, ultimately we are going to make a jump to your that specific function. But here is not like that. Is it fine? So please try this as well. We'll use in majorly in some more collections based programs. And I'm sorry to say, like, I'm just putting this hash, this part just for later reference only. So that we'll get the clarity that yes, either of we can use, right? Because we know hash is for your comment part, right? So I'm putting both the pieces, right? So to justify my point, which I said earlier with ME, obvious, we have to get into ME here also, obvious, right? This you must have done that part, right?